Hey guys, it is day number 53 of 90. My name is Alan Thomas and I have Rethink Dieting for Men, which I help men who struggle with obesity really rethink this whole dieting process. And it really came out of my 4-decade struggle with obesity. In 2017, I reached 304 pounds and I was just about ready to give up. I'm like, oh my God. I'm 5'11". I was 55 years old at the time. I'm 58 now, but I was 55 years old. It was the day after my 31st wedding anniversary, and I looked down at the scales. I saw 304 pounds. I said, I know I'm going to be known as Angie's first husband, not because she got rid of me, but because I was dead. And it just hit me for once. If I'd have been 299, I know that sounds completely unthinkable to a lot of you guys. But if I'd been 299, it probably wouldn't have impacted me. So I really consider that scale a gift. And, like any disaster that you see nowadays, if somebody, I say this all the time, if one of your neighbors had a tree fall on their house and you hear this big crash and you run outside to look at what was going on, you dial 911, you'd go in and try to make sure, see if you could save anybody, and the very next thing you would do would be take a picture of that. And I've got a picture of that actual scale reading of 304 pounds because I will never see anything like this again. And, fast forward 260 days from that day, I weighed 175. And it came with a lot of hard work, a lot of intention. And it was a journey that I went on that I don't say any of this to impress upon you guys, but I did it publicly. And it was something that was probably one of the biggest learning experiences of my life. I didn't do it to learn. I got it to get my weight down so I wouldn't be dead. I mean, I just knew after spending years in the life insurance business, I knew that my odds of living to age 60 or 65 were almost zero. So, I could die any day from getting, having a heart attack or stroke or something like that at that kind of obesity. Certainly nobody's life's guaranteed, but, putting that kind of impact to it really changed me, and it made me search out a way to get this weight off. I didn't do any crazy dieting. I did something that I'd actually failed at 5 or 6 times, amazing eating plan, but it wasn't, people say to me, well, how did you do it? It came with some steps that I learned in the journey of a way to stick to it. One of the things is I talk to men every day that struggle with obesity, every day. And they're saying, how do you do it? And, we walk through a lot of these steps. And the biggest challenge most people have is the stick-to-itness. And that is, that's one of the pieces to the equation. But it's not the only piece. You do have to stick to you got to lose some weight. So you're not going to be able to eat bonbons and donuts and fried chicken and French fries all night and show up with a Frosty from Wendy's and lose weight. You have to change. So it's not a magic pill, but what I believe that I've found is that 90% of the equation is not the diet. 90% of the equation is right up here. It's how we look at this whole process. It's how we approach it. There's a lot of aspects to it. And while the eating is super important, you got to change what you eat. You got to exercise. It's not. That's the 10%. That's the simple part. But the 90% is where the rubber really meets the road, and that's what brings about change. And, for me to think that I'd be dead, I don't talk about this. I don't talk about the medical aspects a whole lot because I'm not a doctor. I mean, I'm just a guy that failed like 10,000 times. It seemed like it was probably 100, no joke, on all these different diets, and just gain weight, would lose 10, gain 20, lose 20, gain 18, lose, 5, gain 7. And it was this up and down, up and down, up and down. And I knew what to do, but it was sticking to it that was so big. And what I guess I want to talk to you guys about tonight is it even possible to lose weight? I mean, I talk to so many men that they get in this frame of mind that's not even possible. And what I want to encourage you to, I just haven't seen anybody. There may be somebody out there that it is impossible for, but I don't believe that. That's a belief that I don't share. I think it is possible for anybody to lose weight, given the right structure, the right mentoring, the right setup, that they can lose the weight. Is it easy? Heck no. Is it simple? Oh yeah, it's really simple. but know what you're playing for. You know, one of the most disheartening things that I have happen in this, you know, day in, day out journey is when I get a man that's morbidly obese and just doesn't think there's any real problem. And that's okay. I mean, they go to a lot of trouble to get to me, and that's fine. And then they don't really believe that it's going to affect their life expectancy. Well, that was key to my whole journey. It was, you know, golly, I knew I was going to be dead. I actually, you know, having spent over a decade in life insurance at that point, sat down with thousands of clients, and my market was the senior market, people over 60 and 65. That was who I saw mainly. And I never could remember meeting a man that was really over 60 that was morbidly obese. I mean, somebody that's, so, you know, they might have a little bit extra on them, but, you know, and be over 65. But I'm not talking about 100 pounds. Those guys are gone. And there may be some out there, so it's not a statistic, it's just an observation from sitting down with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And men don't typically live as long when that happens. Now, you can check the studies, but I pulled something up that was interesting on WebMD tonight. I don't usually have like data like this, but this is interesting. I was just talking about that being overweight shortens your lifespan, and this is just talking about obesity. I'm not talking about morbid obesity. Most people that think they're obese are morbidly obese. Okay, so I'm just talking about the 30.0 or higher BMI. Now, a lot of people want to argue BMI. I don't have an opinion on it other than it's kind of a guide. It doesn't fit for everybody, but it gets you in the ballpark. You're in the ballpark. But listen to this. Researchers, and this is on WebMD, these guys know a little something. It says as BMI rises, so does risk of death from heart disease, stroke. They say diabetes. They're talking about type 2 diabetes and many other conditions. Researchers found that each additional increase of 5, that means 5 points on that BMI chart, in the BMI translated to a 30% increase in the cause of death. It also translated into a 40% increase in death from heart disease, stroke, and other vascular diseases, a 60 to 120% increase in death from type 2 diabetes, kidney disease, and liver disease, and a 10% death from cancer, and 20% increase in death from lung disease. Findings took into account age, sex, and smoking history. So that's just data. And to think that if you're 100 pounds overweight, that you're going to live, then you're 50 or 55 or 45 or, you know, whatever, and you're going to live till you're 80, maybe not. And I'm not saying this lightly, but I'm saying think about it. I mean, this isn't rocket science. Again, this is just, obesity is going to cost you. But what's so crazy about it, and I don't focus on this piece a lot but when I talk to, and a lot of times I talk to spouses and you know, the impact that people have, realize what it would do to their family if they were to pass early. And I mean, because you don't know when you're dying. I mean, go down to the cemetery. I mean, nobody knows. I don't know. I mean, I get hit by a meteor right now sitting out in the yard. But I want you to get this. It does matter. It does matter. You do have to do something. Can you stick to something to reach your ideal weight? I believe absolutely you can. How? There's lots of ways how. But just think about this. If you were dying of cancer or some terrible illness and had that awful diagnosis, you'd do anything to you know, get healthy again. With obesity, we tend to think of it as something I can do tomorrow. Well, here's what it costs you. Okay, it costs you the data here about the death. That's a big deal. But it also costs you your life that you're living right here. The chance to do things, the chance to be with some people, the chance to, you know, children, grandchildren, wives, you know, all of the people that were around, the chance to find a relationship that you can, if you're alone and you're obese, you know, it's costing you from getting out. So many of the men I talk to, they don't leave the house. They just like go to work and go home because they're so ashamed. And, you know, it's not just looking good in a pair of 34 skinny jeans and rocking those. That's fine. That's a pretty cool thing. But it's also about all that other stuff. It's about, you know, the purpose that you live. And I say it all the time. I believe there's more human potential underneath men, and I'm sure women too, but I focus more on the men. There's more human potential hidden and robbed from this world because of the next bite of food, because of obesity. So it's a big deal. I take this seriously. I was telling somebody today, if I win the Powerball tomorrow, and hey, root for me, I'm hoping I do, 100 million bucks, I'd still do this. I would say that because this is something that I experienced. I know the pain that the men are in. I know, but I also know what's possible. I mean, I know what it feels like to step on the scale and see that number you haven't seen since you were in high school or college or maybe even junior high, and to see that happen. I'm seeing men that are getting unlocked. It's like they've, you would think that the only thing that weight would affect would be all this stuff around your health and your knees are going to feel better, and all that stuff's really cool. I mean, I'm glad you're going to feel better. But it's like you come alive again. When you get momentum, you had your backside whipped by a plate of food, and all of a sudden you're mastering it. All of a sudden you're the guy in charge, not your fork. And all of a sudden do you not think that affects your business? Do you not think it affects your family? Do you not think it affects everybody around? Do you not think it affects your potential? Do you not think it affects your income? I can go on and on and on and on and on. So, I'm passionate about this stuff for a reason, because, man, it just breaks my heart to see men give up, to see them give up and not find the way to win when it's so simple. It is so simple. Is it easy? Oh God, no. No. Is it magical? No. There's no magic pill. Quit looking. It doesn't exist. There's no genie in the bottle that's coming to wave a wand and make you, 175 pounds again if you're 400 pounds. It's going to take work. It's going to take effort. It's going to take intention. It's going to take persistence. It's going to take all these things, but understand it's possible. Understand, just buy into that concept for just a second and believe that if there's even 1% chance, you've got a chance. I bought into the idea that it was 100% possible. 260 days later, I solved the problem that I'd struggled with for 40 years. And I learned a few things along the way. And people come to me now and they say, what do you do? And I said, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And you got to be coachable, decisive. You've got to be committed. You've got to be resourceful. It takes a lot. It does. But is it possible? Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Is it fun? You better believe it. Was it pretty cool when I walked into my 18-year-old's room, and because I was out of jeans, and he had a pair of skinny jeans that kind of like you never think a 58-year-old guy would wear. Well, I still got them and I still rock them there. And I'm just saying, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that if I can do it, you can, because I was the worst of the worst of the worst. I was absolutely the worst. I mean, I was hiding eating food. I was going to and you heard me say this all the time, I was going to the restaurant, having a meal, and stopping by to get a Wendy's single. I didn't get a double, but I got a single and fries and a Frosty, or I was eating, sneaking and eating, and all these things that are just lies to ourselves. And I did them over and over, and it robbed me. It robbed my family. It robbed my potential. It robbed everything. So as I talk to you, be hopeful. It is possible. It is possible. Don't give up. If you're stuck and you need some help, reach out to me. Reach out to me. Go to transformmyfuture.com/apply and book a free breakthrough session. It's completely free. Everybody's not right for Rethink Dieting for Men, the program. There's people that aren't right for it, aren't ready for it, and that's okay. But if you're somebody that you're sick and tired, like you're sick and tired and you're done with this, you're done with this obesity thing, and you want to be finished once and for all, then reach out to me and we'll carve out a plan. But also, I want to draw your attention to on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, 2 days from now, this Thursday, I'm going to have with me one of my heroes, a fellow by the name of Jeff Andretian. And Jeff is just retired as a pilot from American Airlines after years and years of being an adventurer, traveler, and he's got some really cool stories. He's not a guy that struggled with obesity, but he's a guy that understands men and really, what's been stolen from us, and how we've been domesticated, and he really will speak to the heart of what's going on. I remember when I committed publicly to losing 129 pounds in 260 days. Jeff flew into Jacksonville, and one of his flights just happened to coincidentally had a flight in, and Jeff was real encouraging, but I know he thought I'd lost my mind. But it was fun. He was just checking in with me, make sure he didn't need to get me committed. But I was already committed. I was committed to reaching 175 pounds. And what I say to you guys is, don't get committed, but you better get committed, if you know what I mean. So totally unscripted every single day, and some of it probably drives you crazy, but it's fun to see men win, and I'm just rooting for them. And Jeff will speak into your life. He will, and we're going to do a Facebook Live on Zoom, and it'll be fun to ask him some questions, because success leaves clues. And Jeff's had a lot of success, and he's worked with a lot of men in a lot of different areas of life, and he's a really talented. He's what's called a sage. He has a lot of wisdom. So it'll be noon on Saturday, and of course it'll be available for replay. But you guys have a great evening, and post something to these timelines. Let me hear your comment. And as you push post, remember you need to be pressing forward too. So do both. And none of this stuff is ever comfortable, but I promise you, comfort's way overrated. So we will see you guys tomorrow, and then on Saturday, put on your calendars that Jeff will be with me, and we'll be having more guests coming up. So you guys have a great evening. Take care.